Welcome to Intuitive Seek. My name is Mary Train, and as an intuitive guide, energy healer, and meditation teacher, I aim to bring you a grounded approach to all things energy and intuition. Everything I share is with the hope to help you remember how your unique power of intuition is your own greatest teacher.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to your intuitive week, your energy update for the week of July 20th. We are in the final days, not fully the final week yet, but the final days of July. And I'm excited to share what came through in the meditation for this week ahead. There was some connection to the first week of July. So before I dive into that, I did want to share that one of the spaces has been filled for my 4-month journey beginning in August. And I had 2 spaces, but now there are 1. So if you have been curious, if you have been feeling like this type of one-on-one support over the next 4 months could really help you realize what you have been wanting to do, then please go to the show notes, connect with me there. You can apply and we can have a call together. There is so much waiting for you if you feel called to this journey of healing and development and transformation. And the one consistent praise, feedback, testimonial from this journey is life-changing. And it's life-changing because it helps you come home to yourself. It helps you remember not only what you desire, how to express your purpose, but also the language of your intuition, your intuitive gifts, and your abilities. The strength that you may have forgotten how to connect to. And the key is all about finding that key within you that unlocks everything that you are desiring because you hold it. You hold everything you need. And with the intuitive energy work, with the intuitive guidance, all of these different modalities help you find it, help you remember. And I really can't wait to connect with who is going to fill that spot for August. Imagine the change by the end of November if we begin in August together. So if it feels like it's for you, go to the show notes. You can connect with me there, send me a message, tap on the links. Anything that you need is also in the show notes. So thank you. Thank you always for listening and supporting. And thank you to everyone who reaches out through the week after these episodes go out. I love connecting with you on how you interpret the insight, on how the signs and the synchronicities already come through for you from the insight that comes from these meditations and these energy updates. So, yes, never feel like you are bothering me or that I get too many messages. No, the whole point of this is that we are connecting, and I love to hear from you. So if there is something that you feel like you want to share or what's resonating or what you're interpreting, reach out, send me a message. I would love to hear from you always. And welcome to any new listeners, and welcome back to everyone who has been with me before. If you are new or if you just need a little reminder, with these energy updates, how I receive the insight is I go into a deep meditation with the intention to receive through my intuitive senses guidance, messages, symbolism, and with the intention, with the aim to translate with as much clarity as possible what we may need to know, pay attention to, any challenges, opportunities about the week ahead. But of course, the most important thing is that these are for you to utilize as a way to develop your intuition, So, really trust when something resonates. Trust when you receive insight on your own as well while I'm speaking. And then trust when it doesn't. Both are equally important. Discernment within your intuition, getting to know the language of your intuition, that's what these energy updates are for. So, they are for both of us. They're for the listeners of Intuitive Seek and me. So we're in this together, and I will share what came through in the meditation. And then I will share the animal that came through for more inspiration and insight. And then I will share some writing prompts. These can be journal prompts, they're soul questions to help you dive deeper into the energy and help you integrate what you may have received. All right. So for your week of July 20th, here's the energy update. When I first opened up the meditation, we were on the shore. Now, this is the same shore that we landed on a few weeks ago. That's what it felt like. It felt like the same. So it is the new shore, but the same new shore. So we are still in the energy of new. We are in a new energy and it is very different. That was the big feeling as I opened up the meditation and we were there on the sand right next to the water, but definitely in the new energy, kind of acclimating to it, getting used to it. And even if you don't know exactly how things have shifted for you yet, how things have changed, what this new shore has brought you, it felt like staying open to how you have changed and in turn, how things around you have changed is guidance right now. Maybe even your dynamics with other people, friends and family or coworkers. What used to be friction might now be understanding. But the feeling of this new shore and the reason that I'm focusing on it is because the knowing that came through is that if you are preoccupied with what other people are doing or not doing, what other people are doing for you or not doing for you, if you are trying to change your outer circumstances through the actions of other people, if you are trying to change your world by changing the world around you, this is your message to stop that. Stop trying to shift from the outside in. The answer is within you. It's that Gandhi quote, be the change you want to see in the world. Change within, and that will reflect outside of you in miraculous ways. I've seen this happen for myself, for countless other people that I have worked with and connected with, that once you start experiencing yourself, your true self, meaning that you are not reacting from your old wounds, your past, your stagnant energy from the places that you were holding on to and filtering through that were created to keep you safe and protected, but no longer do that and actually impede your growth and shield you from your own light. When you return to yourself, when you release those, when you move past the layers to find yourself again, find those keys within you that unlock everything that you are desiring to find outside of you, then you actually witness the shifts in others. All of the sudden, that person in your life that has been the most judgmental of you, all of the sudden they are more open to you, not judging you at all. It's very strange. It's a phenomenon I have witnessed countless times, and it still amazes me. There are so many examples of this kind of, yeah, kind of phenomena, like I said, of self-acceptance, which is what energy healing and intuitive development and spiritual work, I mean, they're all there to help us accept ourselves, so we accept others. So if you're accepting yourself, it ripples out. If you're focusing on others needing to change, then you will never change. This week, use that as a signal to focus on how you are reacting, what you need to do. Maybe you're procrastinating and blaming other people around you or your circumstances for what you're not doing. And there are very real things in the world that stop people from doing something. I'm not talking about the systemic ones. I'm talking about the very sneaky ways that we self-sabotage our potential. So if you haven't felt that new shore energy yet, if you are the one that is like, no, I haven't. I'm still moving through so much. I have not gotten through to that new shore yet. Things have not changed. Well, bring your attention to how you are different now. Bring your attention, expand your awareness to how you have changed, because I bet you have. And not only that, but maybe your goals and your dreams have changed. Maybe they've gotten more clear, more authentic to who you are now. What makes you the most content and happy, what satisfies you, how you want to spend your time. Maybe that's changed. Because life is change. And if you're resisting change, then you're resisting life. And if you're resisting life, then you're resisting the opportunities and the blessings in the present. Which, not to be cheesy, cliche cringe, but that was 3 different ways to say cringe. Or 2, I guess, because I did say cringe. But not to be cheesy, cliche cringe. But as some say, the present is a gift. That's why they call it the present. So I feel like the energy of this new shore, the reason I'm focusing on it so much from the very beginning of this meditation, is because some of us need to be reminded to come back to the present. Come back to who you are, where you are, and what you're doing, and who you want to do it with, and what you want to do, and where you want to bring it, and what is now telling you. Not then, but now. Okay, so the next thing that came through after that long tangent about how we are still on a new shore and we have changed, and to focus on how different you are, how different where you stand is. But now we're on this new shore. And the next thing that came through is we are back to the seed. Last week, we dug up a seed with our hands, and then we tended to it and then planted it again. This seed, this dream, this goal, these intentions, maybe a project, something that we replanted, recommitted to, re-inspired. And this week, we had a tool in our right hand. The seed was still replanted, but we were digging with our right hand, our hand of action, more paths from the planted seed, and I counted 4. So there were 4 new pathways that we were digging out on the shore, and maybe these are new ways for the seed to be nourished. Maybe it's making room for more water, because that is what happened. At the end, the water came through, but before I get into that, it felt like this week we are being given the invitation to create new ways to feed this dream. Expanding this dream, whatever the seed was that we replanted, whatever we recommitted to last week. And it's not too late. Recommit to it this week. But maybe it's new pathways for receiving money. Maybe it's new pathways for sharing what you feel called to share. Maybe a shift in your work or your creative life. Some other way to share. Because these 4 paths we're digging are connected to the seed we replanted and recommitted to. But they're not only for that thing. They are inspired by it. So this week, pay attention to any ideas that come to you out of nowhere, suddenly. Pay attention to anything that someone maybe says to you or you hear someone say that sparks a new idea, a new path. That energy of, oh, I never thought of doing it like that before, or doing something like that before, or I've never thought of it in that way before. Entertain the new ideas because this new energy is ripe with potential for you to be renewed, to be expanded. Stay open to all the new ways. Don't say no because it's not what was for you before. Because remember, you have changed and it might be for you now, but because it's not familiar, it might feel like a no straight away when really that's just protecting you from the unfamiliar. And as I'm sharing that, I'm seeing the imagery again of making those new paths in the sand. And I'm reminded of neural pathways. Maybe it's also about shifting new beliefs, new ideas, shifting the stories you tell about yourself to other people, releasing any old labels, maybe even kind of moving away from certain modalities or practices that felt very true for you, felt very much resonant with who you are and where you stand and what you do. But maybe that's not the label anymore. Maybe you need to shift. Maybe something has changed. So it could have something also to do with your mind and your mindset. So pay attention when new ideas about you, yourself, your path, what you do, what you don't do. Pay attention to when a new thought, idea, belief is sparked. And don't say no because that feels the closest to your lips. Maybe the yes is further down because you have to get used to it. The next thing that came through was after we dug those paths, waves. So we're right next to the shore. So there were waves that came up and flowed. Now, they didn't have any force that knocked us down. They were very subtle, just beautiful, soft, flowing waves of water. But then they went into the new paths and they didn't fill them up and close them. They helped make the paths more open. So it didn't feel like destruction. The water flowed through the paths we dug, made them even more deep, more open, to hold more. So this felt like a message about our emotions, that there is support in the depths of our emotions. We were swimming through them last week. What did you learn from them? Water being a symbol for our emotional energy. Don't ignore your feelings this week. Allow your feelings to flow. Feel your emotions. And know that by feeling them, by expanding yourself enough to hold the depths of your emotional world, know that they are helping you forge these new paths. And pay attention. Pay attention to what feelings are wanting to flow and how does that offer you some insight this week? What does it connect to for you? What does it tell you about how much you've changed and where you land today? And then our solar plexus was so lit up as soon as that emotional energy, that flowing water was moving. And this was the same last week and also at the beginning of July. A focus on our inner sun, our solar plexus, our personal power, where we hold our trust and our courage, our shine. So this week, keep tending to your solar plexus. If it feels tight, if you're having stomach issues, make space for this energy within you. It's the energy just above your belly button in your physical body where you can connect to it. Place your hands there. It's about 2 to 3 inches above your belly button. And open up to anything that this energy is trying to tell you. The color may help you connect. Think of golden yellow energy. Trust what comes. Trust that you know how to receive from your wise, beautiful energy. What do you need to know? What does this space in your body and your energy need? Connect with your solar plexus. I'll put the link again for my solar plexus healing meditation. That might really support you as well. But pay attention. Just pay attention to this very, very important part of your energy. And then the animal that came through for this week was the same animal that came through at the beginning of the month. It was the hummingbird. Beautiful hummingbird flying right next to us, but it was at eye level, which I thought was quite significant, which really felt like look out, not in a warning, but in a pay attention type of way. This fiery hummingbird energy coming back to us this week in July. This felt like a connection to the new energy that we have landed in, that we're opening up to this week. And we're also moving from Cancer season to Leo season astrologically. From the deeply emotional Cancer energy to the deeply sensitive Leo energy. Leo is deeply sensitive, maybe one of the most sensitive in the zodiac. And you can see that in the shadow of it, which is ego, protecting all of the insecurity. So this week we're moving into the Leo, shining, heart-centered, but sharing the heart, the courage to share, a deep connection to the solar plexus, that place, our inner sun. What's more Leo than that? We connect to our personal power in our solar plexus, to our inner fire, and we anchor into the courage there to help open up our hearts, to open up to give freely and to receive. That's what this Leo energy that we're moving into can inspire. The Cancer energy has helped us connect to how we have protected our hearts, to the shield. But now we leave the hard shell. We move from the moon, which rules Cancer, to the sun, which rules Leo. Now, this energy could feel maybe confronting or uncomfortable for some of us because we're moving out of the light of the moon, which shares and holds the secrets and the hidden, illuminating what was hiding in the shadows. And then we're moving into the sun, which is like shining on everything that illuminated, shining on what was in those shadows. All of that energy that most likely was held by fear and shame. So this hummingbird energy is giving us this medicine this week that if we feel a contraction, to hide away. The hummingbird is reminding us to look. It was right at eye level. Look. Look for joy. Look for your fire. Look for the signs and the synchronicities. To look for the messages of support from the unseen. To allow your inner sun to shine and light up the next step of the path that you choose. But choose it from a place of courage. That's what it feels like this hummingbird is coming back to remind us. Because this also helps to light up the path for others. Because remember, we are not separate. By stepping into your courage, by stepping into your path of purpose or destiny, the right next step for you, the one that feels scary, unfamiliar, then in turn, the ripple effect of that can be that you help to fulfill the destiny of the world. Because we are all connected. It's that phrase, that Latin phrase, that one that literally came to me in a dream last November. It was November 24th. And I was repeating over and over again, omnia unus est. And I wasn't familiar with it, but it means all are one. Everything is one. All things are one. One of the oldest Latin phrases. So maybe you'll be reminded of that this week. And for July, the message that came through was grounded magic creates miracles. And the grounded magic is being yourself, grounded in the fact that we are all connected. And if somebody is not being who they are meant to be, then that creates a disconnection. So when you ground into your own magic, following your heart, following your signs, following your intuition, then the miracles are just waiting. And it reminded me of the thing that constricts creation and magic is thinking that you are the only one involved. So this week, perhaps the hummingbird is reminding us to reclaim the power of our co-creation. How can you work in harmony with the unseen, with the forces within, with the unseen support around you? How can you come back to connection? How are you disconnected? And then thinking about how the hummingbird inspired you at the beginning of the month. Come back to that. And before I share more about the hummingbird, let me share the themes. Sharing them again, it was a few weeks ago. Do not expect you to remember. And every week we are in a different place, so they may connect in a different way for you. So the hummingbird represents the energy of joy, independence, charisma, endurance, life purpose, fire, success, divine light, and honoring life cycles and our connection to our ancestors. So, how do these themes connect for you in your life this week? What are you feeling called to focus on? How can you make the space for it? And there's one sentence that stood out from Ted Andrews' Animal Speak. So, for this week, this is the part that I was like, oh, yes, this feels connected. So, from Ted Andrews, we're reminded that hummingbird is a symbol for accomplishing that which seems impossible. It will teach you how to find the miracle of joyful living from your own life circumstances. And then I wanted to share from my intuitive animal oracle, the guided journal, and coming soon. And the hummingbird is number 11. And it's the hummingbird of signs and synchronicities. Now, number 11 is also a 2, but the 11 stands strong. It is a number of intuition, of the intuitive, the sensitive, the wounded healer. The number reminds us to ask for signs, that intuition is a conversation. And I wanted to share an excerpt from the Intuitive Animal Oracle about the hummingbird of signs and synchronicities. And as always, with everything that I share, take what resonates and leave the rest. So, from the hummingbird of signs and synchronicities, you are moving through an energy that is challenging your innermost feelings of security and belonging, bringing a spotlight to where you believe your place is in the world. The beauty of these challenges is that they are offering you a much needed step, a helping hand into deep changes that have been waiting in the wings. You may already feel like you have changed enough, endured enough, felt enough, and healed enough. You have. But this energy can help you understand the next phase, to understand a new level of surrender, to see where all of the growth has brought you. It could feel like a masterclass in letting go of how you are meant to show and share yourself with the world. This knowledge is helping you ground your energy into the authenticity of your unique being and being in the world, of how to just be yourself. Ask your unseen support for signs Look for synchronicities. Trust the meanings as they come. Be in relationship with the unknown. This will help you connect to your heart and the wisdom within you. Your power lies in allowing your remembering to guide you. And the writing prompts, the journal prompts, soul questions to help you dive a little bit deeper into the energy and answer one or none. You can write or even answer them in a voice note to yourself. Trust what resonates. So the first one, what part of your present life are you resisting and why? And number 2, what new paths are you feeling called to create? 1, 2, 3, 4. What kind of pathways are these? Number 3, describe the feeling that is waiting for you to finally feel. What feeling is just waiting, maybe at the top of your solar plexus, just under your throat? What is waiting to be felt? And number 4, write down 3 signs, specific signs, that you are asking to be shown this week. And what will these signs tell you? Maybe it's a word someone says or that you see written. Maybe it's an animal. Maybe it is something very inanimate but odd. Maybe it's something that is your favorite thing that you haven't seen in a while. Ask your intuition and trust what comes, but write them down and pay attention. And when you do see them, write that down too. Write down what you were doing, what they told you, what it meant to you. Trust the conversation. Trust it. Maybe that's part of the miracle that is coming from this grounded magic this month. Maybe it's this week you are finally seeing it. And that brings us to the end of this episode of Intuitive Seek for this week of July 20th. Thank you so much for listening. And as always, please reach out with any question, any thought. If you were resonating with any of the energy or how you were interpreting it, please do not hesitate to send me a message through my website, treenlight.com, or through my Instagram, even at treenlight. And if you are wanting to apply for the last space for August to start my 4-month healing journey called The Key, then go to the show notes. Everything you need is there. And hugely appreciated if you subscribe or follow wherever you get your podcasts. And if you feel called to give a little bit more support, you could share this episode with a friend that might love it, or you could leave a review. That is so helpful and really, it helps so many people find it. So thank you. And be extra kind to yourself and others. And I will talk to you next week.